You ever go to your favorite bar and your local bartender's not there? And you ask, hey, where's Jeff? Well, Jeff's not here. I'm Steve. So you immediately think, well, who's this idiot? That's not Jeff. I want to talk to Jeff. I want Jeff to pour my drink. I like the way Jeff pours my drinks. Well, no more Jeff. Jeff's not going to be there. So what are you going to do? Are you going to go to a different bar? No, you still want your drink. And Steve might be a nice guy. His drinks may not quite taste the same. And frankly, Steve might actually feel bad because, well, Jeff trained him. Jeff got him the job. Jeff taught him how to use the cash register. Jeff taught him who tips and who doesn't tip. Well, anyway, I'm Steve. And anything I can pour you tonight while you're watching the Orange and Black Soccer Cast? Let's go. Hey, what is happening, Orange and Black Soccer Cast Nation? I know this is a little bit new. You guys aren't used to seeing me coming on first, but hey, you know what? I'm not actually Steve. I'm Larry, and it's really good to be here, and I'm excited to be here hosting tonight's show. We got a lot of stuff going on tonight. We've got the Pittsburgh game to talk about. We have got the Colorado Springs upcoming game to talk about. We have a guest with us tonight, Mr. Colin Shutler, one of the all-time greats for the Orange and Black. You know, this past week's game, this game against Pittsburgh, that's a tough team. That is a tough team. And what good teams do when they don't have a good game, and I don't think Orange County had a particularly good game on Saturday, but what good teams do is they find a way to succeed when they aren't having a great game. And Orange County came out with a point, and I think that's a very important thing that in this weekend, they came out with a point, and they needed to come out of there with a point. So let's bring on my co-host tonight. First of all, we have got the man who is single-handedly responsible for me being here on a regular basis, Mr. Brad Polonsky. Brad, what's going on, buddy?
Man, how long it took you to do that intro and the following non sequitur, I thought I'd never get introduced. But you know what? All I took away from it is bottle of Malort.
That's right. Hey, Brad, any big life events recently that you might want to talk about for a minute?
Yeah, I learned, big life event, but I learned that I'm the reason that you're around here, not anybody else in this show. Oh, you're talking about I got married. Yeah, I guess that happened.
That's right. So congratulations to our man, Brad, who tied the knot, and now he's a He's a grown folk. He's an adult. He's a married man. So congratulations, buddy. We are all very, very happy for you. And I am going to bring on my next guest, who is, in fact, the Orange and Black Soccer Cast OG himself, Mr. And Dylan Allen is the reason that I am County Line Coalition for Life. Dylan, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here as always. It's weird being on this side of things, but with you at the helm, and I'm here for it anyway. It can't be any worse than last week, that's for sure.
Hey, you did great last week, and you know what? Hey, you know what? I'm Steve. You're Steve. Brad might be Steve one day. We don't know, but that doesn't really matter. Let's get into this week's game, Dylan. I'm going to ask you first. We came out of there with a tie. We have had a very, very successful run of about 8 games now. Has Orange County Soccer Club turned the corner this season?
We're not quite there. I think if you asked me and we had 3 points over the weekend, then yeah, we had turned a corner. But just to repeat what Alan used to say on the show all the time, win at home, draw on the road. And I think, according to probably John Morrissey or somebody, certainly just somebody a lot smarter than I am, that Pittsburgh has only ever beaten us one time. So
2014.
It works. Yeah, and that was a lifetime ago. No disrespect to the USL, but it was a glorified, amateur league really at that time. So things are good, and we're trending the right direction. Still, that's the key. It's a little into August. Turning the corner can be any time after now, I think.
Fair enough. Brad, let me ask you. Do you feel like this game was a success for Orange County Soccer Club? Because going to Highmark, it doesn't matter that they've only beaten us historically one time, and that was in 2014. But going to Highmark and coming out of there with a point in a game where they didn't really play all that good, is that a successful weekend for our boys?
Yeah, and if you mean by they didn't play all that good, I think we didn't play all that well either. Unfortunately, just had some difficult putting the ball on target, but we take results where they come.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Dylan, let me ask you this. For the team on Saturday night, what went right for Orange County Soccer Club?
I think not necessarily being discouraged once we conceded. And I know that the record persists where when we concede first, we're going to lose the match at this point. I recognize that we scored first, and that probably went a long way to helping things. But despite really not doing a lot going forward, it didn't feel like we were destined to lose this match the way that so many other away matches have gone this year. Oakland on the road, really the first 3 months of the season, just kind of felt like, well, maybe we'll get it done at home, but it's certainly not going to happen anywhere else. It's nice to see us turn the corner on that, because regardless of if we're good or not, we're probably going to have to play on the road at some point if we make the playoffs.
Well, not if we get the number one seed, which, isn't inconceivable, probably unlikely, but not inconceivable. Brad, almost the same question, but a little bit different. What went wrong for the team on Saturday?
What went wrong? I don't think a lot went wrong. I think less went right. Giving up a goal is always disheartening. I think the team played well in spite of that. But just, I think keeping the consistency of the last couple of games that we've seen, it was very clear, obviously Pittsburgh and just the way they play in general is not going to allow many goals, but I don't think we created the opportunities that we've seen against, the likes of Las Vegas or Phoenix in weeks past.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are a couple of games where, and realistically, how many times in recent years has Orange County Soccer Club put up 4 goals in a game, let alone do it back-to-back games? That's not the game that we play. That's not the game. I keep saying we. I'm not on the team. I'm just some clown. I'm talking head on a screen right now. The way that they play, the way the team plays, is that, we're a defensive-minded team, and we have been very defensive-minded. I think, and somebody please correct me if I'm wrong, 3 goals conceded in 8 games. Does that sound right to everybody?
Yes. Yes. 4-1, 4-1.
4-1, 1-1, 1-1.
I don't know anymore.
It's really not very many, and that's one of the big things. The team has one thing I talked about in recent weeks, before I missed last week's show, is the team taking care of the ball. And I actually did a little bit of math, and I looked at the stats over the last, going back to starting with the El Paso game, because that was the turnaround. We finally got a clean sheet. Orange County completed 85% of the passes that they made, and that is absolutely the definition of taking care of the ball. I think if you do that, and if the team continues to do that, then they can be. What the hell was that sound? Somebody choke on something? The team can continue to do that. They can continue with the success that they've been seeing these last couple of months. So, Dylan, of the young players that we have seen, who has impressed you the most so far this year? Really, and really, let's not even go this year. Let's just go this run of form since the El Paso game and the 3-0 win.
There's only one correct answer to this question, and Ray Liotta is the correct answer to this question, far and away. Grayson Duty is playing, and if he is playing, we probably don't really ever see him. And instead, Duty ends up with a season-ending injury. His replacement's shaky. Why not go to the academy and see what's up? Why not play the kids? And he has earned his spot. He's not just there because he's the better of 2 options. He's there because he's actually a very good option while there. So it's got to go to him. But if Brad has a dissenting opinion, I'll only hold it against him forever.
Yeah, no, I very much have a dissenting opinion, and I'm sure you were just about to ask me the same question, because I
Nope.
think the correct answer is uh, one Mr. Pedro Gumarães. The kid stepped up, following the end of the season where we're like, we'd like to see more of this guy. Well, we've seen a lot of him this year, and he scored 4 goals, set up a couple of others, has earned all the accolades you can give a kid, and he's still a kid. He's still 17, so there's still a lot of growth to happen with his play style and his future, and I'm really excited to see all of it.
You know what? Those are both very, very good choices, and I would be hard pressed to challenge either one of you on those choices.
Challenge either one of us.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Are you going to do it anyway? Because it kind of feels like you're going to do it anyway and just say someone completely different.
No, actually, I'm not. You both are spot on. Those are in my notes that I've taken recently. Those are the two young players that have stood out the most to me as well. So no, I am not going to challenge either one of you on that one. But now that we've talked about the kids, let's talk about the big boys. Dylan, who of our senior players in this run of form since El Paso has really shown out for you? Who's the guy who's standing out and making you want to watch every single week?
Well, I would say that I am in some sort of Stockholm syndrome-esque situation with the club, so it doesn't really matter if they're doing well or if they're doing poorly. I'm going to watch. It's hard to... It's actually really funny to think about senior players on our team when I think our oldest player is like 31 or something. But in terms of players that have actually, I think, stepped up, Kevin Partita, who we had on last week, has made a massive difference. And I feel like he's maybe relishing having a little bit more freedom now that Kyle Scott's not around. And we're getting to see a little bit more of, complete Kevin Partita performance. I think what's gone a long way, and like we talked to him about last week as well, he's no longer just getting useless yellow cards every other match. So that goes a long way for us as well when he's actually able to be there.
Yeah, no, that makes an absolute lot of sense, and I could not agree with more. And I'm sorry that I wasn't able to be on the show last week to talk with Kevin. And one of the things that I mentioned to him after the previous game against Phoenix was how much I had noticed his maturity on the pitch, not getting those dumb yellow cards. That makes a huge difference because Kevin is a difference maker on the team, no doubt whatsoever. Bradley, who of our senior players have you been really impressed with here over this last run?
Honestly, over the last couple of weeks, I would have to say that Mr. Ethan Zubak has stepped up and filled that niche we've been begging for, and he's done it with everything. He's done it with his legs. He's done it with his head. And while he's not the end of 2024's Ethan Zubak that our good friend Keith scouted and really vouched for to join the team, 5 goals in 6 games is a pretty good stat. And I mean, if you told me that was Milan Milosky scoring 5 goals in 6 games, I'd believe you.
Ethan has been absolutely on fire. And I was hoping you'd say somebody else because then I could have done the challenge and I could have talked about Ethan and how great he's been playing. The guy has a baby, and then what does he do? He just starts scoring goals. So, and that's something obviously that the team has struggled with all season and that we have been hoping to improve upon. And I feel like Ethan has reached a point where he could put this team on his back and carry them a very long way, a deep run into the playoffs. And I would even go so far as to say that he is in the same form right now, Brad, that he was to end last season. He got hot when Danny took over, and then he was unstoppable. I don't even remember how many. I think he had 7 goals in 9 games or something like that to end the season. And he's right there with it now. So, hopefully we still see that moving forward because we need it. We absolutely need his leadership out there. We need him leaping 5,000 feet into the air because, God, that guy can jump. But do we have any further final thoughts on the Pittsburgh game, guys? Dylan, Brad, anything from you?
I just want to offer a stat update for you.
Yeah.
Ethan Zubak scored 4 goals in Orange County's last 6 matches before the playoffs last year. And then, of course, he scored in Colorado Springs. But this is the best version of, this is the most prolific version of Ethan Zubak that Orange County has seen.
Absolutely, no question. Brad, any final thoughts from you on Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I think 3 shots in general is never going to do well enough for a win. So, we're lucky with our tie. We wear it proudly. It looks nice, but it could look better. I think the team knows how to play a little bit more aggressively, and this is more of a case of Pittsburgh's always been set up for lily ball and defense.
Absolutely, no question. And again, if you can fly all the way back east and you can take a point in a very tough place to play like Highmark, hey, I look at that as a win for our boys. So let's move on to Colorado. Colorado is literally just the average Joes this year. 6 wins, 6 draws, 6 ties, 24 goals for, 24 goals against. Sitting on 24 points, same as us, but we have a game in hand. So they're not doing anything really special this year. This does not look like a defending championship team, in my opinion. Brad, what does Orange County need to do in this game at Colorado for it to be a successful weekend?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I had to fact check you there because that did not sound real, and it turns out that's real. That's literally the definition of parody, and I'm here for it.
Hey, I don't make up alternative facts. I actually give facts.
Yeah, clearly, but no. Look, it's stupid, but I think just control the midfield. I think that's where we get our best result, where we see the players on the back of the net. I'd like to see Ryan Kelly, who I think played a good game last week, to follow it up with another good game this week. Sorry, Stephen Kelly.
Famous Irishman Ryan Kelly.
Yep. I'm just me with making up names. They work in my head. But that midfield, continuing to play aggressive, is where we've had our success. And live by the midfield, die by the midfield. I don't know.
And actually, Stephen Kelly, it also might be Daniel Patrick Kelly, which is my great grandfather. So it could be any one of those Kelly boys. It's hard to keep track of all of them. Dylan, on the Colorado roster, who stands out for you this year? Who do you see as being somebody who could be trouble for us, whether it's a goalkeeper, a goal scorer, midfield? Who do we need to watch out for?
I'm inclined to say probably Juan Tejada, just given kind of the level that he's been at for the last few years. Duke Lacroix has made himself a pretty great left back, which is funny to think about because 8 years ago he was a forward for Orange County, but he really reinvented himself through some time. I think Reno, Brad, right? Yeah, the nodding says yes. I think that's kind of when it started for him, and then he's bounced around since then, but he's been a very, very good defender, and he's only gotten better with age. Yeah, those are probably the two that I would look out for. But to correct you, what we know defending champions to look like is what the beginning of the Switchbacks season looked like, where they were horrible. And it took them a long time to get going, and now they're kind of seems like they're starting to figure it out. So, they could be bottom of the league just with one dude that's scoring 20-plus goals. Could be worse.
I am familiar with a team like that. And then, there was the 2022 champion who also was horrible to start 2023. So apparently winning the USL championship does not really bode well for you in the next season, I guess. I don't know. Brad, who is going to be the difference maker for Orange County this week? Who needs to step up their game? Who do we need to see perform big? It's going to be a key to victory, to getting 3 points, not just one.
Oh, man. I'd like to see Nico Benalcazar really play a good game. I've been impressed with how he's been this season a lot. He's put a couple in the back of the net. but he's been an outstanding defender. And if you want to keep Juan Tejada, if you want to keep Fieldberg, I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly, but if you want to keep those two from scoring against you, I want to see Brewitt and Benalcazar stepping up.
Yeah, and that's definitely going to be a big key to it. For me, for Colorado, I'm actually a Justin Dillon fan. I like the way he plays. He's aggressive. He's strong. Dillon is making a face over there at me like, why him?
I mean, it's a valid question because I do believe that he no longer plays for the Switchbacks.
Did I miss that?
You might have. I mean, I could be wrong. I might have just dreamed that, but I'm pretty sure that he left back in June.
Well, hell, man, this is only August. I'll have to check that. Okay, so, prior to Justin Dillon departing Colorado Springs, I've been very impressed with his gameplay up until, June when he apparently left. Hey, what can I say? I'm a rookie at this. I'm kind of making a little bit of stuff go as I go along, like Ethan Zubak scoring 23 goals in 6 games. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, right?
Are those alternative facts?
So I'm wondering if one of you guys were going to call me on that. Let's talk about, just for a minute, the USL Championship overall. The Eastern Conference has got 2 teams that are absolutely dominating the table. I don't know how much you guys are looking at Louisville and Charleston, but what do you think is setting them so far apart from everybody else, not just in the Eastern Division, but in the championship in general? Brad, I'll go to you first.
Okay, I just pulled a Brad, so I'm clearly qualified to talk, or not. Louisville and Charleston just played each other last week, and, well, it was a 4-0 shellacking. Charleston got absolutely embarrassed against Louisville. And other than just being the biggest name team, biggest players in the league, an academy that matches, if not outclasses us at times, just Louisville is doing it exactly correct. I've watched a lot of their games just due to the fact that I know one of the players personally, in Sam Gleadle, but they play a very aggressive play style, and they dispossess you from the ball, and then they know how to play each corner of the field to score against you. And Charleston, another really good team. They're going to be top of the table at the end of the year. I believe it's Ben Perman is just one of the, best coaches in the league. So nothing to be concerned about on their end either. But both those teams have just absolutely run away with it in the East.
And Dylan, what are your thoughts on these 2 teams, these juggernauts over in the Eastern Conference?
Hey, man, it's really easy to rack up 44 points from 19 matches when you've got teams grabbing 17 points from 18 matches on the other end of the table. The East has always been a joke. It's always had teams doing absolutely nothing at the bottom, just floundering around, giving points up. Congrats to Miami, the Miami FC, for getting off the floor of the East. But look, this is why I said that we'd have to probably figure out how to play on the road at least once, because as it stands, all roads go through Louisville. When I say it like a local, I think they say Louisville. Like, they're just very southern of them are too lazy to say half the word.
Yeah, actually, I've been to Louisville before, and yeah, they talk slow and they don't pronounce all of their words. Speaking of, bottom of the table over there in the Eastern Conference, kind of nice to see Tampa Bay sitting down there at the bottom. I'm not going to lie. I'm sort of enjoying that personally. But yeah, when you look at the difference between the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference, what is it? 8 points separates first to 10th, or I'm sorry, second to 10th. That's nothing. That is myopic. And everybody's not sitting on the same amount of games. I mean, Orange County and New Mexico are both sitting on 17. So that kind of bodes well for our club. And, all we can do is, hope for the best when it comes right down to it. Should Orange County make it that far, I don't really want to go to either one of those 2 places, Louisville or Charleston, to, try and play a championship game. But we know how it's worked out every time the last 5 years in a row for the Western Conference versus the Eastern Conference in the finals. Western Conference goes to their house and takes them down. And that's always kind of a nice thing. I enjoy that. So before we get to predictions, actually, let's get to predictions. So Colorado, Orange County Soccer Club, Saturday night. Dylan, what do you got?
I'm going 2-0 Orange County. I think Switchbacks either score or they don't. Like, as in, like, they either, I guess that's actually how it works, but they either will score a couple goals or just kind of do nothing. And I feel like Orange County has enough about them.
And if Colorado gives up 2 goals this week, they will score 2 goals next week based upon their record. Brad, what do you got?
I'm going to say a 1-1 game. I do think the team will actually score more than they did last time out and get a lot more shots. Sorry. Score the same, but get more shots. But I don't know. I just feel 1-1 again.
1-1 is absolutely fair. But then that leads me to my next question a question, Brad. If we come out of there, I mean, we flew all the way back east to Pittsburgh. We got our 1 point. Is it a moral victory? Is it a victory? Sure. Is it a victory if we come out of Colorado flying, instead of all the way across the country, halfway across the country, and come out of there with 1 point again? Is that a win for Orange County?
A loss.
Sorry?
It's not a loss by like pure definition.
But is it a successful weekend for the team if they manage to come out of there with a point?
I feel like you're making the argument as no, and you want me to just bend to your opinions.
I would never try to bend anybody to my will, Brad. I don't do that. I'm not Ray. I'm Steve.
So the answer is: Are you a yes or a no on the matter presented?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is I think that's a very good weekend for the boys. If they come out of Colorado with another point in their back pocket, just like they did Pittsburgh, then yeah, I think that is a success. You know, good teams, they win at home, they get a point on the road. It's been said a million times. Dylan said earlier in the show. Alan used to say it all the time on the show. It's been said by a million pundits forever. The goal is to get a point on the road. So if our boys get a point on the road on Saturday, hey, you know what? Success. Not much more we can ask for, I think, as fans. Yes, no, yes. Oh, I guess I have to get to my prediction. Well, somebody's got to say it because, you know, I know one of you spoke the words last week while I was gone, and you know, I'll go ahead and say it. 5-0 Colorado, because that seems to be working. So I will stay on that trend, and we will pray that I'm not right on this particular one. So, is there any things that you guys would like to talk about while we wait for our guest to show up? Because he should be showing up any time now.
Steve, I'm just curious why you felt the need to fulfill such a wonderful Ray role. But perhaps more accurately, we do have a new signing that we could probably talk about really quickly.
I actually have it in my notes to bring that up. Yes, we do.
Now that it's official.
Yeah, we got some notification of that a few weeks ago, just from some random person, and it caused a little bit of a stir. But Tyson FC, SB, coming on to Orange County Soccer Club. How much do we know about him, guys? What do you guys know about him?
Well, probably the main thing was that he was also an academy product from LAFC, and for whatever reason, perhaps just the way that LAFC runs kind of their entire organization, he didn't see a future with them, so he's now here in Orange County. So that makes a kind of a massive difference for us. If we look historically at academy center backs that came from well thought of MLS academies, Kobe Henry was another one, and you know, he plied his trade in France for a little bit, and now finds himself back in the U.S. but doing things at the next level. So, you know, all signs point to if he puts the work in, he can make it happen. He's got a good group around him. He's got some good leadership around him, and an entire organization that's pushing for him to make that next step, which is somewhere beyond Orange County.
And you know what? The way Orange County has been doing it the last few years, I don't really think there's any question whatsoever that they're going to have no problem helping him move on to his future goals. Now, hey, everybody, get excited because we have a guest with us tonight, and he is one of our favorites. He is, gosh, at this point, he is one of the most senior members of Orange County Soccer Club. Welcome to the show, Mr. Colin Shutler. Shout out, Shutler. Colin, how you doing, man?
I'm doing very well. How are you guys doing?
We are fantastic. We are having a blast tonight. We're thinking about taking some shots of Malort in a little while. I don't know if you're familiar with Malort, but we can talk about it at some point.
I'm not, and I'm not a drinker, but it is.
Oh, Colin, you froze on us.
Well, I think the main takeaway is that he's not going to drink Malort with anybody. So, in case
Colin
you weren't sure, he's much smarter than you than anybody on this show.
Absolutely. Okay, well, I'm sure that we will get Colin back up and on in just a minute. While we do, Brad, do you have any thoughts on Mr. Tyson SB joining Orange County Soccer Club?
You know, I think we're going to do it again. We have just a great track record of getting the kids, giving them the time they deserve to really surface, and then setting them up for the next position of their life. Because obviously, I don't think any of the players aspire to this being the end of their USL cycle. But it's just nice to have the academy working well.
Absolutely. All right, let's try this again, and let's welcome back to the show Orange County Soccer Club goalkeeper, our number one, Mr. Colin Shutler. Colin, welcome back. It's been forever. How you been?
I've been doing well. Yeah, I was on my laptop, and then it shut off on me, saying that there was something wrong with the device. So I'm on my phone now.
You know what? On your phone, on your device, sending smoke signals. We don't care. We are just glad to have you here. Let's talk about some Colin Shutler highlights for a second. First of all, happy birthday, 27. You do know that 27 is the age when professional athletes, hit their physical peak. So where are we at? Are we just going to see Colin Shutler get even better than he's already been for Orange County Soccer Club?
I would love to say that. I definitely feel that way. I mean, it definitely feels like I'm getting older every time I come in from practice. But no, the body feels good. And when I first came on and you said I was one of the most senior members, that was kind of sad too. I remember my first year here and I was the newbie, and now I have to take the reins and show everybody else around. So.
Hey, you know what? There's nothing wrong with being a veteran because, hey, you might be, I think you and Kevin both came in 22, if I remember correctly. So that would put the two of you as the two most senior players. But Kevin still got you by like 3 years. I think Kevin's 30 now.
Couple years.
So Kevin is the old man of the, stick around for another 3 years and we'll start calling you the old man as well. We'll be happy to do.
Yeah, so a couple of years off that, thankfully.
Yeah. So you hit a big milestone for Orange County Soccer Club, 200 career saves with the club. Did you know you were coming up on that?
I had absolutely no clue. I don't pay attention too much to things. The only one that I know that's coming up is my 100 USL games. And I think I'm at 90, either we're 91 or 92 at the moment. So hopefully we'll hit that this year.
Absolutely. No question there. I'm going to let Dylan and Brad talk with you about Orange County Soccer Club stuff, but I want to talk with you a little bit about something different. 2019, junior year at Virginia. Number one team in the country or just the number one seed in the tournament?
Number one team in the country during that, yes.
All right, so that's pretty good for a Division I soccer team.
Not bad.
You go all the way to the championship game. Georgetown. Yeah, we don't like Georgetown. We've never liked Georgetown.
No.
Unfortunately, you guys did not get the W, but in realizing that you were in that game and playing in that game, I actually sat down earlier today and I watched that game on YouTube. And let me just say that it was either the second or third goal from Georgetown. I think it was the third goal.
Yeah,
he was offside. no question he was offside.
Yeah.
How well do you remember that?
I remember it pretty well. But I don't know. We can. I always have nightmares about that game still. The best part of that season was we did win the ACC championship, and my brother was on that team with me, so that's still one of the highlights of my whole career.
Yeah.
But yes, that day was definitely a downer.
Yeah. Well, but still, there are not a lot of people who could say that they have gotten to play in a national championship in any sport, let alone a national championship at the Division I level. So, you know what? Hey, you know what? You didn't win a chip. That's okay. You have to get there to even have a chance for it. And only 2 teams get there every single year in each sport. So,
Exactly.
Congratulations on that. And you played with an absolute stud of a goal scorer in Daryl Dyke.
Yes.
He had a hell of a year that year. But let me ask you this question. So we see all this talk about Diego Luna and the U.S. men's national team, and we all know what Milano Lasky has been doing up in MLS. So if you have a choice, if you are the manager of the U.S. men's national team right now and you need a striker, which one of those 3 are you taking? Luna, Dyke, or are you taking Milan?
In current form, to be honest, I'd take Milan. I mean, he's been scoring goals left and right with San Diego. We can have another conversation of what happened there, but I'm very excited to see what he'll do in Philly. My guy Daryl, unfortunately, has been dealing with a couple injuries here and there. I'm really hoping he'll get a really healthy season. He's healthy at the moment, so I'm really excited to see what he can do this year with West Brom, and I've been in touch with him, but at the moment, I mean, Milan's been killing it, so I'm excited to see what he can do with Philly Union.
I think that we all are, and we're all very proud to say that Orange County Soccer Club is what created him. Colin, thank you for being here. It's always a pleasure to talk with you. By the way, don't forget that when you were on the show the first time last season, the next game you scored a goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, then we had you on again a few months later. But so just keep that in mind should that opportunity arise this coming weekend. Dylan's got a few questions for you. I'm going to let him take over.
Of course.
I just want to lead with I hope we don't need you to score a goal in the 93rd minute again. It was a very special moment for me, and I'm certainly you as well, but I would really love to not have that stress. You mentioned feeling your age, at a ripe old 27 now. As you come in from training, growing up, you played primarily on the East Coast, and so I'm presuming turf. You played on turf at the weekend. For you as a goalkeeper, just jumping, diving, how is that different for you versus a natural surface?
I honestly, it really depends. I grew up playing on the really bumpy grass fields during the summertime, and then of course we'd switch over to turf on those East Coast winters. Remembering Colorado's turf, it's actually a really nice turf, so I don't mind it much. If I had my choice, I would love a pristine grass field like at the Champ that we have at the moment, but I'm definitely not opposed to playing on turf here and there. If it was a full season, turf gets pretty tough on the body, I will say, but going to Colorado, I'm excited for this weekend. It's a big game for us, and we know that we need to pull out a result.
Fingers crossed, and fingers crossed that you're not scoring a 93rd minute equalizer.
I agree.
We've tried to ask as many people we had on, and we typically forget because you've been here. It's the Orange Black Soccer Cast. We're certainly amateurs. Pro Rel was kind of announced as USL's moving into that. So for you as a player, and as a player that's got probably a future in this league for the next few years, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think it would be a great addition. I think it's going to really propel the soccer that has been growing a lot in the U.S. I think it'll bring the competitiveness to another level in the U.S. I mean, it's not really a problem for me. I feel like I'm always up for a game in this league, but I mean, with a lot more pressure, you'll see those big players come to the table when your back is against the wall.
Fair enough. Now to shift away from things that matter into things that really don't as much. You've got a whole bunch of kits on the wall behind you. And I see a mix of goalkeeper and outfielder kits on the back.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel personally about goalkeepers' names and numbers going on outfield players' kits?
Well, that was. I don't really care. I mean, there's some outfield kits that I do like, and I'll ask our front office just to have one kit for memories if they're nice, and give them to family members if they're asking for those ones in particular. I will say that my girlfriend put all this together when I got the 200 save, so I'm very grateful for her and for her to be able to be here to do that. But yeah, I mean, when I was younger, you have your kit, and I would just wear the opposite color when it comes to a game. So, outfield, goalkeeper kit, it's all the same as long as you're in your unique color for the day.
Fair enough. I mean, I spent so much time wearing yellow for absolutely no reason. Um, we have a fan question, which comes from Joseph, and he was asking, what's your favorite colorway for kit so far? And that could be, the last few years that you've been with the club.
For the goalkeeping, I will say, jumping off of your yellow, I will say that was probably one of my least favorite. I'm able to say that because the office knows that as my opinion as well. I'm a little biased. I love the light blue. That is the color that I scored in, but I am a big fan of the pink one this year too. And then for the field player ones, I love the Country Roads kit, the black kit. Yeah.
It doesn't get any better, truly. Brad, all you, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for joining. One of the things, given that you've been the starting keeper since I believe 2023, there has been a number of outfield players that you've played with that, I'm not going to ask you to rank, but I want you to tell me, is there any player that you just loved having a defender in front of you that you could just trust with your life out there? Some of the players that you've been with over the last couple of years include Knockham, Miles, Powers, Fox, Flood, Brewitt, Benalcazar, Kiernan, and Orozco. And I know I just threw every name at you there, but who's your favorite two to play with out in front of you as goalie? And they don't have to be the two that played in like a game together.
Yeah, I mean, I put faces to all those names right as you were listing them off. And the one that came to my mind right in particular when you said who is your favorite, it's got to be my guy Dylan. I'm very grateful for him. He has a kid now, and I'm very happy for him and Nina. And I'm sad that I haven't been able to go out and meet the baby yet. But having him in front of me, I did some agent work off the field. Obviously, I'm not a great agent. He didn't come back and play with us this season, but I did try to convince him as well as a couple of our other guys to get him back in. But he's probably been one of my favorites, and we bonded a lot while we were playing together for a couple of years here.
And then follow-up question to that: what makes a good chemistry and a really good back four with goalie mix to those brooding goalies out there?
Yeah, I think it's just understanding of how each other plays. So, I mean, one part is on the ball, and it's how we want to play as a team, building out which foot you want it to. I mean, there's some guys, most guys that we have are right-footed, but some prefer receiving it on their left versus their right, even though it's their least dominant foot. And then when it's defending the box, it's how high of a back line do we want to have? How high do you want the goalkeeper behind you to be? How close in relation to that? I won't go too deep into that, but there's a lot of different understanding pieces, like dealing with crosses as well, that we kind of chat and communicate about throughout every week in training. And I think that was a learning curve at every beginning of the season with so much turnover for the personnel that's in there. But I do think that we have a very good understanding of each other now, and we'll be able to keep going forward and getting more shutouts.
Nice. Brad's pulling a Brad, so the more times you come here, the less things change.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just coughing so much in the background. Lastly, we got another fan question, this time from Kayvon, asking you who your favorite professional goalie of all time is.
Favorite professional goalie? There was actually a reel that just came out on the OC page, and I picked Iker Casillas. He was. I'll even repeat basically what I said because I feel like I've answered that question a lot. He was not like a 6'7" frame like you see in some of the goalkeepers around, and he was good with his feet, and he was just a brave guy that would put his face on the line and make a big save in those big moments. And I feel like that has propelled me to be that type of goalkeeper myself. And yeah, he's always been an idol in my eyes.
He was awfully good, wasn't he?
He was very good.
One more fan question that just came in. Where did it go? It was red or green from Joe Figueroa again. Red or green salsa on your tacos?
Red or green salsa? Oh, that's tough. Because when I hear red or green, I think pasta as well, and I definitely go green for that. But I would say for the taco sauce, I would say red.
All right, fair enough. And I've got one more for you. If it all ends tomorrow, you win the lottery, $500 million in the bank. Your girlfriend says, nope, you ain't playing anymore. We're done. We're moving to Mallorca and we're living on a beach the rest of our lives. What is the biggest highlight of Colin Shutler's professional soccer career?
I was about to actually cut you off there and say I'm gone, but I guess she's got the same mind as I do. I mean, Larry, this is a pretty easy thing to say here.
There's only one right answer.
There's only one right answer, and it's that goal that was at Sacramento for sure. I will say winning the ACC with my brother is a very close second now, but scoring, I never had on my bingo card of scoring a goal as professional keeper, and that's been the biggest highlight of my career.
And right now your brother's sitting at home watching, going, really? You yourself, just you is more important than us? I get it. I understand. Yes, that was the absolute correct answer, Colin. Do you have any final message you would like to send out to the Orange and Black Soccercast Nation prior to this week's game?
Well, I would say come out to the champ and help us out, but we're going to be on the road for the next 2 weeks still. But no, I mean, I'm not sure exactly what you guys have planned. I'm sure it's some good brewery meetup or something to watch the game. So come out, have a good beer with these guys. They're all very fun to be around and enjoy the game. All of us on Orange County are going to make it a good one and try to get a result out in Colorado.
We have no doubt that you are. Ladies and gentlemen, our goalkeeper with one of the coolest chants of all time for Orange County Soccer Club, ranks right up there with It's Fun to Hang Out with Seth Kasipli. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Colin Shutler. Colin, thanks for being with us tonight. We appreciate you.
Of course. Thank you for having me, guys. Have a great night.
Take care.
I personally hope that we can push the ACC championship memory down one more when we lift a cup at the end of the year. So,
yeah, that would be fantastic, wouldn't it?
Apologies to his brother.
Yeah. Sorry, younger Shutler. I'm sure you're a fantastic human being, but yeah, we want to see Colin with the cup with us. So we've still got about 10 minutes, or we could babble on about this and that and the other. But let's go ahead and start wrapping it up a little bit, unless one of you guys have got some long spiel that you would like to talk about for the next 10 minutes or so. No, we're good.
Something Premier League's back in a couple weeks, but Dylan's been watching Luton Town play in the League One for a little bit. So,
hell, we can talk about this right over here.
We've already talked about terrible score lines, and I think Brad's done his usual thing. We quoted Alan on the show. We misnamed players. I think we've probably covered it. We don't need to talk about,
Hold on, I got three more things to cover real quick then. Something umpiring, something Tottenham, and something youth soccer games. All right, I think we're good to move on to random thoughts.
If you've got bingo, you can collect your winnings from Larry at the next home match.
Brett, since you brought it up, give us your random thought for the night, please.
I am so glad that I get to go first because I know one of you guys is going to steal this, but I learned today Dylan Powers has a kid now, and I don't know if that was public knowledge or well known, but I just learned that, and congratulations to him and his spouse. And, I hope he's enjoying fatherhood, but not enough to stay too far away from the soccer games.
Dylan, was that a random thought or just something that you learned?
We'll count it as both categories.
Yes, producer Andy, please.
Randy.
Yeah, I just wanted to tag on to Brad's comment there about Dylan. He actually was at the last home game. We sang the Dylan Powers song to him from our section.
And in the parking lot after the game, he was talking with DK and a couple of other people, and they were right by my car as I was going out. So we also had a brief discussion about Malort. Not making this up. And then Dylan looked at me, and because he was invited to, take a shot at some point, and Dylan looked at me and he said, "Larry, have you had this before?" I said, "I have." And he said, "And?" I said, You're a former professional athlete. Don't do that to your body, Dylan. Don't do it." We're just going to make that one my random thought. Dylan, your turn, my friend.
My random thought is perhaps a little more random than yours, which, since you both talked about Dylan Powers, and that's a very good-looking man, and we miss him greatly, and his mindfulness, of course. My random thought is mostly a question. Did you know that you can burn spider webs? It's like the most efficient way to get rid of them. So, I learned that today, and I just thought that maybe the world should know that too.
And I feel like it's best if the context is left uncontext there.
There we go. No context, Dylan Allen. I kind of like it. That might have to be a new segment on the show. We should talk about that off air.
I don't think we need that. I don't think anyone will listen to that. Yeah,
probably not. So hey, listen, y'all. Thank you very much for being with us tonight. Thank you for bearing with me as I hosted for the very first time. I don't think it was overly miserable, but hey, that's up to you guys to decide whether you want to come back or not. But remember, like I said to open the show, you're not going to go to a different bar. You still want your drink, so you're going to keep coming right back to see us every Tuesday night. On behalf of my co-host tonight, Brad, Dylan, on behalf of producer Andy, the legend himself, and of course our guest, Mr. Colin Shutler, thank you for being with us tonight. This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast. Peace.